People, deluded, I'm back again. Welcome back, folks. Now, Arsenal's under 18 sadly lost 5 goals to 2 against Leicester City, their Leicester counterparts. I believe that result now leaves us in 10th position, and our chances of retaining this competition was always going to be tough. There's some big sides. We had a lot of first year scholars coming into the bunch, so we was very inexperienced, and it's a season of lessons. We've had some unlucky injuries and whatnot. Aziz has missed out, for example. A couple other players have had knocks here and there, but it's sadly a disappointing result. Now, credit to Leicester. I think Leicester played well. Terrell Pennant, the nephew of Jermaine Pennant, former Arsenal lad, played very well. And a number of Leicester players, I feel their front men and their midfielders worked very hard in this game. Going into the game, we're without Ben Cottrell, but Muro Bendia is on the bench. Marco Flores is on the bench. 2 under-16s who did come on in the game and make their debuts. Charlie Patino, Zayn Monluis are also in the side, and so is Kyan Edwards. So it's nice to see that we're exposing our under-16s to the I say first team, but full-time football under-18s environment from now. Charlie Patino in particular, I'd say, has been the one that's, you know, reacted the best really, and has become the most accustomed to it. And I would say Monluis as well, but yeah, he's been alternating between 60s and 18s. But going into the game, I feel first 10 minutes was a crazy 10 minutes. I feel we made a fairly decent start. We're knocking the ball around. I would concede the whole first half, but the first 10 to Leicester. They had a number of breaks down our right-hand side, and we tried to do the same down the left. I felt we was giving, throughout the whole first half, I think we gave away a lot of fouls, particularly down their right, our left-hand side, in dangerous areas, really and truly, people. We're the ones who took the lead, and it's very much against the run of play. I'm pretty sure Sam Greenwood, who had a very decent game, he plays the ball into Kachajin's path, the young Romanian new recruit who I've been very impressed with his technical ability in midfield, pops up in the area and puts us 1-0 ahead. The problem is I wouldn't say it's instant, but it feels like an instant reply from Leicester. And Herbert, our goalkeeper, is normally a good goalkeeper. He is a quality keeper with a good future ahead of him. Probably let himself down for a number of the goals because he's caught over complicating things. He more or less gives possession to Leicester, and they make no mistake, and it's one of the easiest goals they'll score. I don't know how to explain it. It's just a goalkeeping error really, and it's a cheap goal. So it's 1-1, and they've hit back in the game of sorts, people. We're still looking fairly sharp. Greenwood's trying to make things happen. Patino's trying to make things happen. Kachajin's working. It's nice to see Kiddo Taylor-Hart is obviously back from his injury. He's doing what he can. But I just feel it was more Leicester. Leicester looked the more troubling when they created chances and broke. We didn't really test the goalkeeper beyond our goal, and they seem to have the lion's share of possession. People, after the goal, we really were very naive in possession, in my opinion. We struggled to test the keeper, and yeah, we just struggled to create anything of real note, people. And the second goal was equally as poor. Again, it's not exactly the keeper's error, but anytime they're putting balls in from the right-hand side, it's problems. The ball hits the post, and I guess our keeper mistimes it. It's like someone putting a ball into the box. It clips the post, comes back off the post into the path of a Leicester man. Again, an easy goal. If I'm harsh, our keeper could obviously time his bearings a bit better, but they go 2-1 in front. Now again, I'm thinking we're going to concede a bit more because I feel Leicester, they just look they play more penetrative passes, especially with Terrell Pennant down the right-hand side. There's more purpose to their play. We're getting in possession, but we do need to up it a bit more. We look comfortable on the ball, but we're struggling to really have any significant possession, really and truly. We got back in the game 2-2. Monluis headed home from a dead ball situation. I can't remember if it was Greenwood or Patino. I think it was Charlie Patino who put the cross in, and Monluis, a young schoolboy, risked the highest to head home and get us back in the game. And it did feel, because of the way the first half was going, people, it very much felt a smash and grab. It very much felt against the run of play, like our first goal. Again, sadly, towards the end of the half, Leicester got another goal, people. Got back into the game literally just on half time. It's a ball down the right hand side, I believe, with Pennant, and again eventually it's converted, and it's 3-2 at this moment. Half time is 3-2. We've shown we can score goals, but we need to stop conceding goals. Like, every goal we've conceded, from a Leicester point of view, it's well worked goals, but from us, it's cheap. We can defend better than that. We have defended better than that, and this is what players got to understand. I did feel second half, again, Leicester came out very strong, connecting play. We did have other half chances throughout the whole game we didn't take advantage of, but I felt like the first half, Leicester started the strongest and they were banging on the door. And they made it 4-2 shortly after that. Again, against the run of play, lovely counter-attack. Ball comes in from the left-hand side. It's eventually headed, I believe it was headed home to make it 4-2. That was probably my favourite Leicester goal. I had to applaud it. It was a lovely move. You can tell they've worked on that on the training ground. Towards the end of the game, they got their fifth again, pennant on the right-hand side. The Leicester man gets in between two centre-halves. And again, it's a cheap goal to concede, but we're already done at this point. I felt we battled well. We played all right in terms of performance, but ultimately conceding the cheap goals, not just the keeper, but collectively, is what cost us today. The one positive for me is that I'm already looking to next season because we're 10th. I'm looking to next season because you want to see a lot of the first-year scholars for next season. Pantano's been playing a lot of games at this level, as has Mon Louise. You've got Kyan Edwards, who's been in around this level this season. Mauro Bendio, very good midfield prospect, came off the bench and had some decent touches. Marco Flores, the same, another midfield prospect came on. There's obviously you've got people like Sweet in the under-16s. You've got Zach Awe. You've got a couple other players that weren't involved today, and I do believe collectively through the whole bunch of these under-16s, I think there's at least there's I'd say one or two players who I genuinely believe can go all the way to first team, and then dotted around that, everyone's got potential and the potential to surprise, especially the midfield prospects. Like I think, for instance, Patino, if it all works out, I'm keen to see what he's like at 18, 19, really and truly. But in terms of this season, it very much feels like the only grace we can get from this season is the FA Youth Cup. Obviously, the league, I guess technically it's mathematically possible to retain it, but it's not going to happen if it is mathematical. Credit to Leicester, like I said, I felt they put together some wonderful moves. They were the better men on the day. It is what it is. I do think 5-2 is a very, very harsh reflection on how the game went, but at the end of the day, this is professional football now, more or less. This is full-time football for these young lads, and all that matters is the final score line. It doesn't matter in the game if you had 10 chances and the other team had 10 and they scored 5 and you scored 4. All that people see is the facts. Did you win or lose? And a lot of these people, not just the first years, a lot of them, it's getting serious now because you've got second-year scholars. Not everybody, some that weren't involved today, some haven't got professional deals, so they face the prospect of getting released. First-year scholars, that's the next step. When I turn 17, is this club going to give me that pro deal? And once I get that pro deal, I need to go out and get another one. Do you get it? People at 23s and 18s are fighting for their futures. You see a lot of people leave. You've seen Fortieri leave. Josh Martin left, and he's having a very productive spell at Norwich now. He's gone from not barely playing at under 18s level to making a difference at under 23s level for Norwich, and I believe he was even on the first team bench in a cup game. Football's a funny old game of opinions, but it is what it is, people. Eggs are firmly in the FA Youth Cup basket for me, but we move, man. It's unfortunate to lose 5-2, but it is what it is. On that note, though, nothing more to add. People, as usual, I love your support. Thank you for your support and watching this vid, but for now, I'm going to keep it moving. Deluded, I'm out.